Hello! Welcome to Rural Community Assistance Corporation's virtual Start, Grow, Revive Your Business Workshop Series, Module 5. My name is Christina Brownlee, and I'm a Rural Development Specialist with RCAC. Before we begin, we would like to take a moment to recognize our funder, the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency, for their generous support. As you can see, we have explored strengths and challenges all entrepreneurs have, reframing needs as being opportunities, getting to know your customers, and getting to know your partners. Today, we will begin exploring business structures. In this module, we will know why it's so important to have a business plan. We will pinpoint the how and the why of your business. We will begin identifying the best legal structure for your business, and we will identify potential locations for your business.
In this module, we'll start by exploring business plans. Then we'll talk about mission, values, and sustainability. We'll review business structures and licensing. We'll discuss choosing a business location. We'll pause for a moment of inspiration. And finally, we'll look at next steps.
Let's start by exploring how you develop a business plan. Everyone needs a business plan. Anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, self-employed, a business owner, or if you want to be your own boss, you need a business plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A business plan outlines what you're building and where you want to go. So really, it's your roadmap for launch or expansion. It helps show that your business can be a success. A business plan is also essential for financing your startup or expansion idea. But everyone doesn't need a 20 or 30-page business plan. If you're not looking for financing or an investment to start or expand your business, you may only need a 3 to 5-page business plan. SGR is not a business plan writing course. This course is designed to help the participant explore their business idea to figure out if your business can be successful. Begin making decisions on what your business plan will look like and know how to talk about these decisions in a business plan. CoStarters has developed a one-page business plan summary. You can use this form to take notes as we discuss the various business planning decisions an entrepreneur must make, with the concept that if you can fill out each of these sections, you have the beginnings of your business plan. You can find this in the workbook behind the Module 5 tab behind the PowerPoint slides. Here is a typical business plan outline. Not every section may apply to your business, but this is a fairly standard outline. Over the remainder of the workshop series, we will take an in-depth look at planning decisions related to the different sections of the business plan. So, for example, in the company section, we'll talk about developing a mission and vision statement and choosing a business structure. In the marketing mix section, we'll talk about advertising and pricing. And in the financial section, we'll look at developing startup or expansion budgets, creating financial forecasts, and ways to fund your business. If you can write just a paragraph or two about each of these sections, you'll have a 3 to 5-page business plan before you know it.
Now we're going to look at the mission, values, and sustainability of your business. Another way to think about this is the how and why of your business. Whether we realize it or not, we bring our values to business. Examples of values an entrepreneur might have include providing true value to customers, treating employees well, and embracing sustainable principles. Without taking the time to determine our values, a business often ends up chasing only money, and the opposite happens. Profits are put first, which can lead to shoddy products, poorly paid employees, and a poor business reputation. Ensuring your business and community are sustainable involves using a three-pronged approach that keeps people, profits, and the planet in mind. So, for example, you wouldn't want to be so concerned about profits that you don't pay your employees well, or you dump toxic waste into the river to avoid paying to dispose of it properly. Or be so focused on using sustainable practices that no one can afford to buy your products. So true sustainability means finding the balance where the three circles overlap. There are three key elements of a mission statement: what your company does, how you do it, and why you do it. It's important to note that if you use words like organic, sustainable, highest quality, or customized in your mission statement, it's crucial to back these up with how your business operates. Now we're going to look at a mission statement example. Let's say we have a produce company. What is our company's name? We'll call it Joe's Produce. What does our company do? Joe's Produce grows fresh, healthy vegetables. How do we do it? Joe's Produce grows fresh, healthy vegetables using organic, sustainable farming practices. And why do we do it? Joe's Produce grows fresh, healthy vegetables using organic, sustainable farming practices in order to provide local, healthy food options that are safe for both people and the planet.
Now we are going to talk about business structures as well as business licensing. Business structure is just another way of thinking about how you will organize your business legally. Sole proprietor is the most common structure for small businesses. It's a business owned and run by one individual. There is no legal separation between the business and the business owner. You alone own the company and are responsible for its assets and its risks. A general partnership is a business owned by two or more people. Partnerships are similar to sole proprietorships in that they don't provide a legal separation between the business and the business owners. A limited liability company, or an LLC, is one of the structures designed to create legal separation between the business and the business owner and limit the owner's liability if someone gets hurt or sick. Without the type of separation an LLC provides, a customer who slipped and fell in your store could sue not just the business, but you personally. Unlike a sole proprietorship, an LLC can be owned by any number of people. People form cooperatives to meet a collective need or to provide a service that benefits all member owners. S corporations and C corporations are more complex legal structures and generally suggested for larger, established companies with multiple employees. There are pros and cons of each structure that include tax and liability issues. This is meant to be a very basic introduction. We can't provide legal advice on which structure makes the most sense for your specific business, but we're happy to connect you with professional legal and tax resources. There are also resources on the Initiate platform that can provide additional information. There are many questions to consider when figuring out how to structure your business. What is the size of your business? How many people will own the business? If there are two owners, a business can't be registered as a sole proprietorship. Does your product or service carry significant liability risk? Can someone get hurt or get sick from your service? Almost every business includes some level of risk, even businesses you might not consider that risky. Even a business such as a drink cart for events. What happens if the brake fails and your cart rolls down the hill into a crowd of people accidentally? You have to consider these kinds of unlikely risks. What are some important financial and tax issues that need to be considered? At the end of the day, really it depends on your own personal preference and the amount of risk you are willing to take on. So what do we mean when we say an informal business? Informal businesses are those that are not registered with the tribe, state, county, or city. They do not pay federal or local taxes and also are not eligible for safety net programs. There are pros and cons to operating an informal business. On one side, there are lower startup costs, there are no fees or taxes, and there's a feeling of pride that no one has control over how you run your own business. On the other side, it can be very challenging to find funding, it can be difficult to get credit from vendors for supplies you may need, and your eligibility for Social Security and disability benefits are reduced. It can also be very difficult to grow past the basic subsistence level. So what is needed to move from the informal to the formal economy? Here are the steps to take to formalize your business. First, register with a tribe if your business is located on reservation. Next, register with the Montana Secretary of State. We suggest everyone, even if you are located on tribal land, register with the state. It allows you to do business off reservation, which can provide more opportunities for business growth and expansion. Next, apply for a federal tax ID number, also called a Federal Employment Identification Number, or EIN. This is always free. Never pay for this registration process. If you Google Federal Employment Identification Number, you have to scroll down to the IRS website, www.irs.gov. Never use a .com site, or you run the risk of having to pay. Next, secure any professional licensing you may need, such as for a hair salon. Then, look into getting workers' compensation if you will have employees. And finally, think about making quarterly estimated federal tax payments with the help of a tax professional so you don't run into any surprises later at tax time.
Now we're going to talk about choosing a business location. There are several different types of business location. The first type is home-based. An example of this would be running your business out of your home. This is how a lot of small businesses start. The next location we'll talk about is a web-based location. These are businesses that operate completely online but don't have a physical location where the customer visits. The next type of business location we'll talk about is a mobile location. An example of this would be a food truck. We can also consider a business incubator a type of business location. This is where you rent a space in a shared location with other businesses. Another type of business location is retail. An example of this would be your classic brick and mortar storefront business. And finally, we have industrial. We can all think of types of businesses that are located in industrial parks or warehouse-based businesses. There are several things to consider when it comes to determining where to locate your business. First, it's important to know where your customer is located. Are they in your neighborhood? Are they in a nearby community? Or are they 30 miles down the road in the nearest town? Do customers need to visit your business? If they do, how will your business location help to facilitate this? Is adequate and affordable space available? Many may start businesses out of their home to mitigate the costs associated with renting a space. And how will the type of space affect startup costs? Again, the cost of renting a space is something to consider carefully when determining a location for your business. And are there other location considerations specific to your community?
Now we'll pause for a moment of inspiration. In this module, we'll look at successful Native American entrepreneurs who are working to ensure the sustainability of their businesses and their communities by balancing people, profits, and the planet.
I want you to get an understanding of what we try and do as a philosophy. Because we do a restaurant, we do food, but there's so much more incorporated into what you present. The National Restaurant Association says that there's over 1 million restaurants in the United States. We can probably count the amount of native-based, native-owned restaurants on 2 hands. Is how do we stay culturally driven? How do we stay culturally aware, culturally appropriate, culturally sensitive? But at the same time, we have to stay business driven. It's a point that we can really start to grow and establish the voice of what we want our cuisine to be, and we can do it communally together.
We are the Tribal Youth Ambassadors. We are a Pomo and Miwok group of Indians, and we are ages 10 to 24. We seek to educate and raise awareness of issues in Indian country today, as well as advocate for our Native American communities in the courtroom, classroom, and in our everyday lives. We realize that traditional foods are so important to our connection to culture as well as our health. And through reclaiming these foods, it is an act of resilience and how strong our people are. So we invented the Acorn Bites in 2016. Acorn has extreme health benefits, and it's been sustaining our people for millenniums. And so we chose to incorporate it into a way that we can indigenize our diets every day.
For your next steps, we ask that you create a first draft of a mission statement using the handout in your workbook, located behind the Co-Starters handout. Also, please review the business structure and tax resources on the Initiate platform. We also ask that you come up with 2 to 3 questions on business structure and licensing. And finally, we ask that you fill out the Choosing a Business Location handout in your workbook. Just a reminder that if you need any help throughout this workshop series, please feel free to contact us. If you're participating in this workshop on Fort Belknap or Rocky Boy, please contact Nick Dorr with OLI. And if you're joining us from Northern Cheyenne, please feel free to contact me, Madison, at NADC. Thank you for participating in the virtual SGR workshop series. We look forward to connecting with you during your community's online interactive session. In the meantime, please feel free to post your thoughts and questions about Module 5 in your community's Facebook group. Remember, you can also contact Nick or myself if you have any questions. Our contact information is included in the front of your workbook.